Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. It is another Scentsy video. I think by now y'all know I love to react to Scentsy, specifically because I was in Scentsy for about 4 years. I was a consultant with Scentsy. And if you're not familiar with Scentsy, they are an MLM, also known as a multi-level marketing company, network marketing company. Some would refer to them as a pyramid scheme. And that is because they make a lot of their money off the backs of recruiting people to join their team. Now they do sell products to, in my opinion, cover up the scam. And their products of choice are scented products. They are mainly known for their wickless candle, quote unquote, and that is the warmer with the light bulb that you plug in, and it has a dish on top where you put the wax. And now they also have ventured into laundry care, kids lines, pet lines, all of the different kinds of things that you can ever think of that can be scented. They have it. It's quite ridiculous if you ask me. But anyway, I do have a full deep dive on Scentsy that I will be linking in the description below if that is something you're interested in watching after you watch this video, of course. In this video, we're reacting to one of Scentsy's top leaders. She was in when I joined Scentsy, long before I joined Scentsy, and I looked up to her as a celebrity. I'll just say that. This is an old training, so the audio is rough. I'm gonna doctor it up in editing and hopefully kind of make it a little less harsh than what it is right now. But I thought it'd be a good watch because you saw in the last video that I reacted to, this is a video that is still being pushed out to new consultants to learn how to live the lifestyle of recruiting. It's gonna be good, y'all. Buckle up, because here we go. We're gonna get right the f into it, but first, we need the disclaimer.
Since I went to my first convention, I've always dreamed of doing. So I'm very excited to be here today and talk with you guys. I'm going to talk about recruiting, which is a topic that I am very passionate about. So you'll probably see that. Maybe I'm going to get a little misty at a couple points, so I apologize. But I'm going to start things off by telling you a little bit about me. So I am 28 years old. I am married. This is my husband, Matt. As some of you know from Mystery On. But anyway, Matt and I have been married for 4.5 years. We live in a small suburb of Orlando called Howey in the Hills. Woo!
Leesburg.
Leesburg, okay, that's close, yeah. And I actually have worked for my parents' air conditioning business. My husband is in law enforcement. Woo! Yes, we're a law enforcement family. I was recently able to go part-time at my full-time job in March. That was a big accomplishment. Yep, one step towards the dream. But
she's still in, actually. She has left her job, to update you. This is, again, from 2014, so it's very old. But again, they are utilizing this still to train new consultants. So she did leave her job. She has a huge team. She is still one of the very top consultants 10 years later because she got in early and she has a massive team.
When I joined Scentsy, I really did not join with intentions of growing a business. And I've been incredibly impressed with what can happen if you just are patient and you're consistent. My business has grown a lot in the last 2.5 years when I started working hard. And I'm very, very impressed with how well we're rewarded for what I consider to be just doing our job. You know, Scentsy has really, oh gosh, I'm getting emotional. I've been on 3 incentive trips. You know, I've been to Tucana, Costa Rica, and most recently the top 100 trip in Greece. Great sisters. And the rewards that Scentsy gives us for what we do, just doing our job, it's incredible. And along the journey, getting to meet all these friends who become family is more special than I would have ever expected. But like I said, when I joined, I didn't I was so casual in my business that my launch party was almost 3 months after I joined. The horror! Almost 3 months. And my launch party was pretty successful. It was about $1,000. And I thought, okay, this is going pretty well. I'm going to keep rolling with it. So I casually sold and had pretty consistent sales. Then I had people approach me about joining. And I was like, this is not something I'm interested in. I even said to them, are you sure you want to sign up under me? I literally said that. Not a lie. And they did anyway, somehow. They wanted to. And I casually supported them, casually sold. And then one day, everything changed dramatically for me. And that was when I attended my first convention.
Of course, convention. Now, this is at convention in 2014, but I've mentioned this before. MLMs will always be pushing for their consultants to attend convention and talk about convention and hype up convention. And the reason for that is because it's basically just a big hype fest. You go to these conventions and the likelihood of you actually learning anything that is going to be useful in any kind of business is so slim. They bring you motivational speakers and motivational stories from consultants and things like that to keep you wrapped up in my opinion, cult-like behavior. I have been to a few of these conventions and I did not get any education from it. It was very hype. Go home, work your business, come back next year so we could hype again.
Oy vey.
Yeah, it was Fort Worth, Texas. Stampede, it's still my favorite convention to this day. I think our first is always our favorite. You guys would probably agree. I remember sitting there in the audience and thinking, oh my gosh, these women, they're so impressive. They inspired me to believe in myself and believe that I too could accomplish what I really ultimately wanted from my business.
See, my point exactly. You are hearing all of these stories, but you're not getting the actual steps that you need to take in order to get to this level of success that these individuals are claiming they have. A big part of that is because there are no steps. It's, in my opinion, again, because legally I have to say that, it's all luck. It's all when you join. Is there a lot of people already joined? Do you have a large network of people who will be down to join to quote unquote help you grow your quote unquote business? It has nothing to do with the steps you take, really. It has a lot to do with luck. It's a gamble, basically.
My husband and I had moms stay home with us growing up, and we knew that's what we wanted for our family. So, with him being in law enforcement, I didn't really think that was possible. I thought I'd always be having to work to help provide for our family. Then I saw Scentsy as a solution. I saw Scentsy as a way to live a different life than I thought I would have always had to. So I left reunion or convention 100% committed to my business. I was all in. I left convention that year as a star consultant with 3 team members. 3 short months later, I was a director with a team of 18. Thank you. And I haven't looked back since. I've been focused on sharing the blessing that is this business. In 2013, I personally sponsored 30 people.
I wonder if she's going to tell us how many of those people she originally sponsored are still with Scentsy. I'm willing to bet most of them are gone. It's just a revolving door of recruiting people so that you can keep making money.
And then so far this year, I've sponsored 17. So recruiting is a big focus of mine. So I'm sure you are wondering right now, okay, what's her secret? What's her magic? What's she doing? And to be honest, there really is no secret. It's very simple, in fact. I fully believe that to be a strong, consistent recruiter, it needs to be part of your lifestyle. Not something that you temporarily focus on, maybe during an incentive trip or the busy season, but something that you're always sharing and representing because it's a part of who you are at your core. And it's just as much about changing your mindset as it is changing your actions that you're performing. So I've taken the word lifestyle, and I've broken it down into an acronym, with each letter representing a core value of living my recruiting lifestyle. These are the values that turned my biggest weakness in my business into a strength. So I'm very excited to share this with you. Who here today would be honest enough to raise their hand and say, recruiting is my weakness in my business? Oh, wow. Okay, awesome. I'm glad you're here. Well,
I am not shocked.
It's everybody's weakness in the MLM because nobody wants to be recruited anymore. I think the word has gotten out so much about MLMs. All of these MLMs are starting to flip to just an affiliate model. And that is because, in my opinion, like I said, more and more people are learning about this business model and learning about which businesses fall into this business model and which ones to stay away from. So it's just not going well anymore for the recruitment. So of course it's going to be seen as a weakness because there's nobody left to recruit anymore once everybody catches on.
I'm very excited to tell you that if you start applying these things that I'm going to teach you today, you will feel so much stronger about your business in just a month, 2 months, and in 6 months, a year, your team is gonna look totally different. So we're gonna dive right in. My first core value is L, and that stands for leap out of your comfort zone. Now this is something we hear a lot, and we really don't pay much attention to it because it's something we hear so often. But the reality is, if you are not doing things that make you uncomfortable, you are not going to grow. Any superstar director that is in this room, Marita, I guarantee Marita would never be able to say, there's never been a day I haven't been uncomfortable in my business. She's probably uncomfortable all the time. Because to be consistent and to grow in this business, you've got to be willing to be uncomfortable. So I want you in your notebook right now to write down the very first thing that comes to mind. Don't think about it a long time. The very first thing that comes to mind when I say, what are you not doing in your business today because it makes you uncomfortable? Just give you a few seconds to think about it and jot it down. I wrote down. I want you to really pay attention to this. Circle it, highlight it, put it in your sights. Because when you go home, your mission is to immediately take steps to eliminate the fear that has a hold of you. It's going to be hard. These first steps are always the toughest. So take action quick and don't give yourself time to talk yourself out of it. Because I am telling you,
don't give yourself time to talk yourself out of it. You have to stay in the cult-like mentality. Do not logic your way out of this. So many times in the MLM language, you hear these consultants who are talking about recruiting to do it quickly. Make sure that the person you're talking to does it quickly, because the more time they think about it and talk to other people, the likelihood of them being like, oh, I'm not doing this, it goes up drastically. So they want you to not have enough time to think about it, not have enough time to process it. Just do the things that you have to do instead of thinking about if it's the right thing that you should even be doing.
Hey, that's manipulative.
If I had not left my comfort zone behind, I would not be here in front of you today. I would not have experienced the things in my business that I have. I was afraid to sponsor. You know, when I look back, you know, in that moment when I said, are you sure you want to sign up under me? It was really out of fear, guys. I was afraid. I had a bad work experience where I was in a leadership role way before I should have been, and I was fired, and that really damaged my self-esteem. And I just didn't think I was good enough. I thought I was too young. All these things would have held me back had I let them. That's the thing. You have the control, not the fear. So figure out what your fear is. What is holding you back? What are you not doing? And eliminate it. You seriously, don't let that thing take control. The next core value is I, and that stands for inexpensive events. A lot of people believe that in order to find a lot of recruits, you have to do the big home and garden shows. You gotta do these big shows where you meet tons of people. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true. I focus on inexpensive events. Events in my community that cost me $25, maybe $50, or $100 at the most. Usually, you get a small table like you see in my picture. Sometimes you even get a booth. But I love these events because I'm not focused on selling product, and moving from one sale to the next. I'm focused on networking and making conversations with people, genuine, good conversations that are going to move my business forward. These kind of events are not typically found online. They're mainly found from word of mouth. So this is why it's really important that you're consistently sharing with your network that you are looking for these kinds of events.
I don't even remember what I was going to say. I'm going to have to rewind that. But I hit a button and this picture came up. I don't know where it came from.
Oh my god.
I can't even believe it's me. It's from March of 23. I'm so sorry. Mainly for the picture. Oh my god. Like a jump scare. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to fix my makeup. Now I remember what we were talking about. We were talking about events, vendor events. She was talking about going to small vendor events. The thing to know about these events is that once they have one person from an MLM at their event, typically, in most cases, they will reach out to that same consultant every year, give them the option to go to the vendor event. And if they say no, then they will allow a different consultant. And that is usually first come, first serve. Or sometimes they have a waiting list. So, in my experience, back 4 years ago when I was a Scentsy consultant, it was nearly impossible to find any vendor events. And I live in a city. I live in Colorado. It's not like there's no people around, there's no events. There are a ton of events. I don't live close to Denver, but I was willing to drive to Denver. It's a drivable distance. Even the Denver events were all full. Everything was full. I found a few different events that were super tiny, like newer events, but most of the time Scentsy was taken. And you know, these places are filled with MLMs. So most of the well-known MLMs that are typically at the vendor events, those spots for most vendor events are already taken years in advance. So while in 2014, when she was giving this training, that could have been true. It could have been easier to get vendor events, but now that's not the case. It's going to be really, really hard for you to find a vendor event that you can get into that isn't already taken.
Talk about it at every home party. The last home party you had, did you mention, hey, I'm always looking for events. Your church does anything, your school does anything? Let me know. Probably not. It's not something that we think about enough. So always mention it at every opportunity. Send out email blasts, post about it on Facebook. Continuously share that you're looking for these kinds of small events. And don't limit yourself to your zip code. Think big. Maybe you have friends or family who live an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours away from you. Take a weekend trip to stay with them based around an event that you find in their area. Then when you have your event, your number one focus needs to be talking to people. Talk to the other vendors. Talk to people running the event. And every single person who comes by your booth and gives you the time of day, get them to book a party. I have a booking game that I play at every event. I play at every home party. It's really simple. And I offer it to every person who comes by my booth. And all it is I hand them one die and I say, hey, you want a chance to win some free Scentsy? Roll the dice. They roll the one die, and I pull out my little handy sign, and it has 6 boxes on it. One for each number they can potentially roll. And there's different prizes inside. So you can do whatever you want with it. And whatever number they roll would be their gift for doing a party with me. It's very simple and very effective. So try it out at your next event. You're probably thinking, why is she talking about hostesses right now? We're talking about recruiting. That's because I know at every event, it's very easy to get parties. And I know that when I hold those parties, it's very easy to turn them into my next recruit. Which leads me to talk about our next core value, which is F. And F stands for flipping to every host. Hostess flipping is where the vast majority of my frontline have come from. 69% of my frontline have come from hostess flipping.
69? What? Where?
Oh, 69%, eh? Anyway, sorry guys. Somebody recently left a comment on one of my videos that said, it seems like I'm getting more comfortable in front of the camera. And I just want to say thank you. If you don't know me personally, I am somebody who kind of stays in her shell until I get comfortable and get to know you. So I guess I got to know my camera really well. But also, I did a lot of self-work this year. I'm still doing a lot of self-work. And there have been a lot of changes in my life that have made me a happier person. So I just wanted to say thanks for noticing that. And then also I was saying that because I feel like you're going to be seeing a lot more of my quirky dorky side for the rest of time. Anyway,
I really went off the rails.
69%. That's where we started. 69% of her her parties are flipped to recruits. This is something that is still very heavily pushed to do within Scentsy. If you have somebody that does a party, you always are encouraged to show them what sales the party had and what that commission would look like. And now when they're flipping hosts, they have the option to give them a free kit. So it's very interesting how they do their party flipping now. When I was in, there was no option for a free kit. We had a discounted kit, but not a free kit. So I don't know all the ins and outs of how they go about getting the free kit, but I do know that is now an option. Anyway, party flipping is huge. If you ever get talked into doing a party for an MLM, know that they're likely going to try to flip you to join the MLM. I did it when I was in MLMs, and it is a successful way to get people to join because right off the bat, they know they're getting some kind of paycheck. But on the back end of that, it's probably not going to look as appealing as it did with that initial order, if that makes sense. So just be careful if you host a party for MLMs. That's all I wanted to say.
People don't want to flip their hostess because they feel like they're losing their income. They're losing sales, they're losing a great hostess, all those customers. And it's true, you are going to lose a little bit of income in that moment. But what you're going to gain far outweighs that temporary short loss. What you're going to gain is another strong team member. And you're going to gain someone who has a great relationship with you of know, like, and trust because you have been so generous with her. And hey, isn't that one of our values at Scentsy, generosity? So be generous. When you have your hostess, you offer the flip right away. You don't want to delay and mention it at the very end of the party experience and say, well, hey, if you ever thought about it, maybe you want to sell Scentsy, you can sign up for me if you want. Are they going to want to do that? No, right? So present it as the gift that it really is. To me, it's just another reward of hosting a Scentsy party with me. So when I'm on the phone and I'm having my first conversation with her, and we're chatting about the hostess rewards, that's when I bring it up. And I say, another benefit of hosting a party with me is I offer hostess gifting. A lot of my hostesses decide that they want to sell Scentsy when they see how fun my job is and how much their friends love Scentsy. So if you too decide that you want to sign up, I offer hostess gifting. I call it gifting to her because it is a gift. If you decide you want to do that, I will gift you this party, and I will give you all of the sales. So it'll be your first party, all the commissions, all the hostess rewards will be yours, and all the bookings that we get will be yours too. If you have any questions, just let me know. Very simple, just like that, and it's super effective. Because that way, the whole process of hosting with you, she's thinking about this offer. Then do everything in your power to make the party a huge success. Hostess coach her, so there's a really high attendance. Play games and encourage bookings, and just show how much fun you're having. Keep your setup simple. Don't rush in all late, looking flustered and frustrated. Who's going to want to sign up like that? If that's their impression of being a Scentsy consultant. So really make sure that you have your game face on when you go in there. Don't waste your presentation. A lot of people waste their presentation. The presentation is the most important part of the whole party. Make sure that you don't hold your presentation until everybody's there. And then don't bore them with a catalog walkthrough and talk about every single product we have. Highlight the best and use the rest of your time to focus on what's most important to you, which if you want to grow your business, should be bookings and business opportunities. One way I like to highlight the business opportunity during my presentation is the most likely to succeed award. Has anybody tried this before? Most likely to succeed award? Oh, well, all right. So here's how it works. Everybody gets a drawing slip. And I say to them, all right, fill out your drawing slip. On the back, I want you to write the name of the person at this party that you think would be the most likely to succeed as a Scentsy consultant. It can be yourself, the hostess.
Ooh, I played this game and then I annoyed the out of the person that they said would be the best. That person never joined. Good for them. If you're watching this, I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
And I'm glad you never joined. Thank you for not falling for my shit.
Or any guest. And whoever gets the most votes gets the award. And the award is really simple. It's just a little bag, and inside I put a joint DVD, a joint brochure, and and a little handwritten letter from me. That's all they get. A lot of times the hostess is in fact the one who gets the award. But no matter who gets it, they're filled with confidence that their friends believe they will be good at it. And sometimes it's the last thing they need to seal the deal and say yes. So now let's fast forward to the end of the party. You're sitting down with your hostess, because you're not rushing out the door ready to go home, because you want to go home to watch Big Brother. You're sitting down, and you're ready to talk about her hostess rewards. You tell her, your party was so much fun, I loved meeting your friends, and you tell her what her total was, what her hostess rewards were. You tell her what your commission is. You say, this was my commission for hanging out with you guys and having fun tonight. Would you like to receive this party as a gift?
For hanging out and having fun. Don't think about all of the totes that I had to bring in, and the table that I needed to set up, and the catalogs I needed to bring, and the packets that I put together for all your guests. I just came to have fun and I made money.
What are we doing? And then also, to remind you, this was back in 2014. That's the same year I joined, and we were still using like the party packets. You would put a party packet together. I don't know if they still do it this way, but it would be a catalog, and then you would give an order form, and you would have to put all of those together. It doesn't just happen for you.
I don't have it all put together at the moment, but I have like each piece that goes in there kind of handy. So I have a bubble mailer. I got these stickers off the Scentsy Consultant store. It's a little thing about Scentsy Club. It says they get your bar forever, and then it has my information on my website right on there too. I usually include, I did get my luggage stuff from them because I'm too lazy to package it myself.
And I typically do too.
Other size of the bag that I'll put different things in. The smaller ones, I'll put like a couple different samples in there, or I'll do it, in just one of these. Usually I include one of almost every type of product. I have like a little sponge I do the dish soap on. I have my counter cleans. These ones still need to be labeled. And then I cover it in like these cute little thank you stickers. I'm not very creative digitally, so I don't have like the cute selfie that's cartoonized on all my stuff, but I always have something with my name on each thing that's in there typically, so they can always find it. And then I have a card that I put in there.
Obviously, you're going to need pens. You're going to need catalogs. You're going to need order forms. You're going to need wish lists. A wish list for your customers to write down their favorite fragrances. You're going to need product to display. If it's just the product that came in your starter kit, that is perfectly good enough. You don't need to have more.
And on top of that, you have to purchase those materials to bring to the party. So you're leaving a lot out when you say, look at this commission I'm making just for coming and having fun today. There's a lot more that goes to that. I hope that people are more aware now that they're able to know to ask the questions that aren't being answered. Like, obviously you had fun. Sure, we're friends, maybe, I don't know, acquaintances, the people are cool, but there's still work involved. I have a blast doing YouTube, but it's a lot of work. Anything that you're making money off of, if you're gonna make a livable wage or any kind of profit whatsoever, which most people don't do in MLMs, according to the statistics, you're going to have to put in work for. It doesn't matter how glamorous or amazing it looks or how much fun it looks like you're having while you're doing it. It's still going to be a lot of work if you want your return on investment. So that's the problem with the MLMs. They leave all of that part out and just make it look like it's so much fun and rainbows and butterflies and unicorn farts all the time. It's just not the case, especially in an MLM.
Join my team. When you present it as the gift that it is, many more people are going to take you up on that offer. So my next core value is effective communication. This is one I love to talk about. We have incredible tools. I mean, look at you all with your cell phones out and everything. I mean, we have so much available to us. We've got to make sure that we're using it. We have branding tools. We can cover ourselves from head to toe in Scentsy with a lot of wear. We all have cell phones. We can text people and call people and get in touch with them in an instant.
Oh yeah, this is when Velada was still out. And if you didn't know, I was part of Velada too. And going back to the vendor event part, the only reason I joined Velada was because I was able to get into more vendor events. It's one of the top reasons I joined because it was still newer. So there weren't people taking up the spots. The reason for that is because nobody wanted to join. The company ended up going under a few years later. So that's no longer. But it's interesting that she brought up the vendor events and being able to get into there when that's the one of the main reasons I joined Volata, so that I could get into vendor events if there was already a Scentsy person there. It's all just so twisted, this MLM world.
We have social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. These are all tools that we have to share our brand. And when I say our brand, I don't mean Scentsy or Volata. I mean you. You are your own brand. I am Katie Farner, Scentsy Consultant. That is Anna Lazar, Scentsy Consultant. Woohoo! We are our own brand. And that is what we need to do with this communication. We need to put our brand out there. Are you communicating your brand? Think about it. When you are communicating effectively, I like to think of it as you're building fans.
Oh my God.
There's a huge difference between a fan and a customer. What's a customer? A customer just buys a product from you at a home party, and then hopefully calls you when they need more. Or maybe buys from you at an event. When a fan is totally different. A fan is somebody who is cheering you on, who is excited to be a part of your journey, who when they see you're at a convention, they like your photos and they comment on your photos. And they're referring you business, and they're hosting, and they're joining with you, and they're referring their friends to host and join with you. That's fans.
I have fans. I can't. Fan just sounds so gross, especially when we're talking about somebody in an MLM. Like, oh, my fans are here watching my Instagram live. I don't know. Like, I guess, I don't know. It just makes me cringe a little when she says fans. Fans. Maybe because it just, I don't know. Does it feel predatory? I don't know why it's making me cringe so much.
And if you don't stop the communication, after the first time they shop with you, you're not going to develop a fan. You're just going to have a customer. So continue the communication. Communicate effectively and develop fans. Think about your communication for the last 6 months in your business. Would you say that your communication has been consistent? Would you say that your communication has been effective? Are you getting the results that you're seeking? These are good questions to ask yourself. I'm going to give you guys some quick tips and ways that I utilize some of these different tools to effectively communicate with my customers. First, we're going to talk about something simple, and that's a follow-up phone call. Most people, if they honestly answer, would admit that they don't give everybody a follow-up phone call. There's a lot of fear in that, picking up the phone, something about it's very scary. But why? They bought Scentsy or Volata. You know they're going to tell you, I love it, it's awesome, right? I mean, you're not going to call someone and they're going to say, this stuff is the worst. So why are we so afraid to call them? Call them, ask them how they're liking it. They're going to tell you, I love it. And you're going to say, great. It's an opportunity for you to show that you care and you are a great consultant. You want them to be happy with their product. It's also an opportunity for you to turn them into your next hostess. Just because they might not have signed up to host a party at your party that they first attended doesn't mean they're not going to want to do a party now. Maybe they just need to experience it in their home. The next thing I want to talk about is Facebook. This is what I love to talk about. Using Facebook effectively has brought me a lot of business, a lot of recruits and a lot of posts. So let's talk about how I use it. Every time I do a home party, within 24 hours, I'm searching for that person on Facebook. I'm already friends with the host, so it's easy to find her. And I add her as a personal friend. Now, mind you, my Facebook page is not a place where I post anything controversial. My Facebook page is a place where I reflect my brand, where I'm professional. I always ask myself 2 questions before I post something on Facebook. Is this professional? Is this uplifting? And if the answer is no, it's not being posted. Maybe I'll call my friend to whine and complain.
Oh my God. I'm watching this right now, just now, live on this video, realizing that I watched this like right after I joined. I can't believe I forgot I watched this whole thing. It was 10 years ago in my defense, but what rang the bell was when she said, is this professional or is this uplifting? I remember that specific part for whatever reason. Wow. I have just transported to the Twilight Zone. Oh my God, I can't believe I watched this. I trained on this. I sat here and listened to this and took it as real advice.
We learn from our mistakes.
I'm so glad I'm not in there anymore.
Because they're watching you guys, and they're going to decide if they want to host and join with you or if they want to host and join with you. So what are you putting out there? Really think about it. Use it effectively. The next tool I want to talk about is your newsletter and your website. A lot of us aren't really using that tool. Our newsletter takes 5 minutes to edit. Edit that newsletter every month and add original content, something that is going to be eye-catching and interesting. Our customers are not stupid. They can tell that that's just a mass-produced email, especially if they've had any dealings with you. They know how you speak. They're going to know that's not you. So add a photo, maybe of you and your family on a summer vacation, you and your family at Christmas time, you here at convention, and share a little bit about what you've got going on in your lives. That's how you're going to develop fans. That's how people are going to be cheering you on and want to be part of this journey with you. And your website. If your website does not have a current photo of you, it's a big mistake. And you need to make sure that your story is updated and reflects where you are today in your business and what you want. Because there are a lot of people randomly looking for a sponsor online. And if you are just consultant A, just blank, they're going to move right on to the next person who came up in those search results. So make sure that you're effectively utilizing your website.
I don't think that part's true anymore. I don't think there's a lot of people searching for how to join as a Scentsy consultant and just not knowing anybody in the whole world that sells Scentsy and just being randomly placed with somebody. I don't think that's how it works anymore 10 years after this training, that's for sure.
The last tip I want to give you is about making videos. Some people in here mentioned earlier that they've seen some of my videos on YouTube, and I think that making videos is a very important part of business. Videos, I mean, you've probably heard people say like, oh, anytime that you're going to post something, add a photo if you can, because a photo is much more interesting. A video is even more so.
Oh, and last Scentsy video when we reacted to the other top leader, I mentioned how these consultants are always piggybacking off of their team and somehow making money outside of the MLM. And I think YouTube is a huge way that they are doing this. Specifically, this individual and the last individual from Scentsy that I reacted to, they both have monetized YouTube channels. So they're making money off of these team trainings on top of the money that they're already making off of their team sales and recruitments. It's a very interesting dynamic of how they keep making money off of the backs of their team.
Every single month I make a video highlighting the scented warmer of the month. I'll make a video for bringing back my bar. I'll make a video for showing them how to clean out a warmer. Showing them fun tips, like different ways to use maybe to wash your whips. Make videos. And maybe you're sitting there thinking, heck no, I'm not going to make a video. I don't want to hear my voice. I don't want to see my face. A lot of people feel that way. But we talked about leaving out of your comfort zone. Maybe this is something that you need to push yourself to try. Videos get a lot of interest. A lot. And if you want to see some of my videos, you can visit either one of my YouTube channels. I have one for my personal business, it's just my name. And I have one for my team, which is Sunshine State Superstars. So you can look up either one of those channels and get ideas on how to make videos for your customers. But if you are not effectively communicating with your customers, you're going to lose contact with them and they're going to move on. So take some of these tools that I've shared with you today and think about other ways that you can start implementing effective communication. My next core value is S, and that stands for share your story. Your story is unique. It's where you've been, it's where you are, and it's where you're going. Your story does not have to be dramatic to still be touching. Your story just has to be genuine. Genuine is key. So ask yourself questions to help identify your story if you haven't already. Maybe you've been a consultant for a while. Why did you decide to sell Scentsy? How has Scentsy benefited your life? Did you have any challenges? How did you overcome those challenges? Maybe you're brand new and you can't answer those questions yet. Great. Share why you're doing what you're doing. A lot of us feel like if you haven't been successful, then, oh, nobody's going to want to join under you. your story will be inspiring. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable and honest and say, I just signed up last month and I'm really excited because I want to do this or that. Share it. Once you have developed your story, share it everywhere, every chance you get. Post about it on Facebook. You can make a video. Hey, make a video. Talk about it at every home party. You can seamlessly add to your presentation when you're introducing yourself right at the start. A successful story is going to succeed in one of two ways. Either number one, it's going to connect you to your audience, and they're going to be one step closer to becoming your fan because they're going to hear about what you're trying to do and want to help you out. Or two, they're going to think, that's a good idea. You know, I'm going to look for some money. That sounds like me. Or maybe my sister would be good at this. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Be genuine and vulnerable and share your story. And your enthusiasm and your sincerity is going to shine through, and it's going to connect you to your audience. Our next core value is T, and that stands for tailor your approach. Just like all of us have a different story, everyone's going to have a different reason to want to join Scentsy. It's up to us to discover their gap. Their gap is the distance between where they are today, the life they're living today, and the life they want to be living. If we are effectively figuring out their gap, then we know what we need to talk about to get them on board. So to discover their gap, what do we need to do? Do we need to talk and talk about what we've accomplished and what our title is and how many incentive trips we've been on? Do you think so? No, what do we need to do? Yes, we have to ask questions. This business is not about what you've done or what you haven't done or how many ribbons you have or this or that. This business is about them. So ask them.
So you're going to ask them questions, find out about their life with an ulterior motive, by the way. You have a full agenda of making money off of this person. And then you're going to give them a false scenario of Scentsy saving them from whatever they need to be saved from, because chances are they're going to give you a big problem that they need to be saved from. And you're going to figure out how you can word it that Scentsy is going to fix that problem for you.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
In most cases, Scentsy is going to make more problems for you. So always be wary of people trying to solve your problems with an MLM. It's bullshit.
Maybe you're brand new and you're like, oh, no one's going to want to join under me because I haven't been to, an incentive trip and I haven't been to this, I haven't been to that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's not about what you have or haven't accomplished. So don't sweat it. Just ask them questions and get to know them. A great line of questions to stick to is FORM. And I'm sure you saw there on the screen already. FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation, and how is more money beneficial to them. While you're here at convention, I want you to practice. I'm challenging you. Every time you're in line for something, hey, you're going to be in lines. So every time you're in line for something, turn to the person in front of you, beside you, behind you, and use FORM to get to know them. Number one, you're just being a good Scentsy sister, getting to know your fellow sister there. But number two, you're going to get practice with FORM. And you're going to see how easily FORM helps you identify the important things you need to discover. So use FORM in your business and you are going to absolutely see that it's going to help you identify their gap, build a strong relationship with them, and get them on board.
I want to quickly address the screaming in the background. They're in a room that's divided by those carpeted walls. So there's all different trainings going on. It's not her room just randomly screaming. It's a different room.
So our next core value is why, and that stands for why not. Don't be the assuming Scentsy consultant. The assuming consultant thinks that the only people who are interested in our business offer are stay-at-home moms, teachers, and nurses. Because hey, that's what we hear the majority of people selling Scentsy or in the direct sales DSA are. And it's just not true. You can recruit any man, any woman, in any profession. I'm going to tell you a quick story about somebody I recently sponsored who I never in a million years thought would join. His name is Jim. He's a sales manager at a fertilizer company. Yeah, literally. But he loves Scentsy. He bought Scentsy from me all the time. He referred me business. And one day I just said, you know what? Whatever. I'm just going to ask him. So I put it out there and I asked him. And And it turns out that after asking him questions, it turned out that the tax benefits of having a Scentsy business were what made him say yes. He has had at least 500 in PRV every month since he's joined, and he's loving selling Scentsy. I never in a million years thought he would have said yes, let alone be a good producer. But look at that. So that's just one example. So stop assuming. Just offer it to everyone. Get out of your own head. Offer it to everyone and let them decide for themselves.
No, stop offering it to everyone. Stop offering it to everyone. Just because this man with a fertilizer company has success with it doesn't mean anything. There's probably so much more to that story too. I want to know all of the story. But like I've said so many times, not everybody is cut out for every job, right? When you're looking for a job on Indeed or looking at job postings somewhere, anywhere, you're looking for something that you're qualified for. You're not just going and applying to whatever job is hiring. Just because Scentsy has the opportunity that anybody can join and you don't need any kind of background or training or anything, it doesn't mean the opportunity is for everybody. I think so many times when people are recruiting for MLMs, they miss the big part of they have to be good at sales. Because if they're not good at sales, they're not going to sell the products and they're not going to recruit people. Recruiting is selling. You're selling the opportunity and you're selling the bullshit kit, right? You're selling the scam, in my opinion. So if somebody is not good at sales, that immediately should disqualify them from being somebody who is capable of taking this MLM opportunity and turning it into anything. It's all a scam. It's a scam, in my opinion, allegedly.
Well, this is my favorite one to talk about. I'm so excited about this one. This is a big one for all of us. This next core value is learn to love no. Oh man, of all the core values that are a mindset change, this is the most important one. The negative emotional connection we have with the word no begins at a very young age, and it only continues as we go through life. We hate hearing no. It's completely understandable. But if you want to succeed in this business, you have to just get over it. Because you're going to hear it a lot if you're going to succeed. What really changed my mindset about this book this topic was reading the book Go for No. Go for No. It's only 80 pages or so. It's one of the best books I've ever read. That book taught me that we think our mission is to do everything in our power to move towards success and away from failure. When in reality, failure is the halfway mark on the road to success. Not a destination to be avoided, but a stepping stone to get where we want in life. Because there's a huge difference between being a failure and failing. There is a huge difference between becoming a failure and failing. You see, people who are successful fail eagerly, while failures avoid failing. I want us to make a commitment together today to learn to love no. So what I'm going to ask all of you to do right now is stand up with me, stand up in your place.
This feels culty.
We are going to shout together. I want everyone around us to hear us and be like, oh my gosh, what's going on in there? Like, straight up shout. This is our commitment, you guys. Like, seriously, commit. Take it serious. This is your commitment to learning to love no.
Commit to the fucking bit.
On the count of 3, we're going to shout, I love no, I love no. Okay? 2 times on the count of 3. Everybody got it? Yeah. You gotta be loud. Don't leave me hanging. All right. 1, 2, 3.
What the fuck just happened? What in the fucking doomsday?
You guys were awesome and loud. It was perfect. Good job. Good support. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, what now? Oh, I think we have a battle going on. There are 5 levels of failure that we need to learn to progress through. First is level 1. That's the ability to fail. We're all able. 80% of us stay here and never leave that spot. Just being able. Then there's level 2. You have a willingness to fail. You understand that it's a basic principle of becoming successful. Only 20% of people make it here and stay here for any period of time. Then there's level 3. Level 3 is a wantingness to fail. You've developed an inner desire to fail with real belief that the end result is going to be personal and financial success. Then there's level 4, failing bigger and faster. You know that if failing is good, failing faster is obviously better. Then there's level 5, which is where I want to be, and I hope you guys want to be too if you're in this class. And level 5 is failing exponentially. These are the individuals who are bringing on others to fail greatly with them, because you know that group failure is going to equal group success. So I'd love for you to raise your hand right now and show what number you feel like you currently are at on the levels of failure. Just raise your hand and show us everybody with your fingers. Be vulnerable and say, all right, this is where I am. 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you feel like you're genuinely at. Awesome. Okay. Now write it in your notebook and write the level that you want to commit to be at before the end of the year.
Write it down.
Are you committing to be a level 5 by the end of the year? You're bringing on other people to fail with you. Mark it down and commit. We stood up, we declared it, so let's do it. Maybe you feel like you just don't know where to begin. You've got to look at no as a necessary evil. You don't like it, but you've got to do it anyway. I promise you that after a month of just hardcore pursuing no, and just saying, no, I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna give up. I got 15 no's in a row. Oh, I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna give up. You will see the track record. You will see that it is true, that this works. So just push through. And then it will easily take you to the next level, which is the wantingness to fail. Challenge yourself and your team members to get a certain amount of no's every week. Post it on the team Facebook page and have everyone celebrate their no's. Maybe have them sign up with buddies and they celebrate their no's together with texting. Celebrate those no's to make it a little bit more enjoyable of a process.
Why are we celebrating no's? Because that means you asked more people and you planted more seeds. F the seeds. The seeds of MLMs are duds. Stop planting the MLM seeds. We don't want them anymore. Give us different seeds.
To change the way we look at this. If we offered somebody a piece of gum and they said no, what happens? We say, okay, oh well. But if we offer somebody our business opportunity and they say no, what do we do? Is it me? What's wrong with me? Why don't they like me? Maybe it's my gum. Maybe if I had a different kind of gum, they would have said yes. No, they just said no. We're so connected with our outcome. We're so connected with the outcome of if they say yes or no to our business opportunity. We could care less if they take our gum. We could care less. That's the mindset we need to have. So every time you offer someone the business opportunity, think about it. Okay, I'm offering them a piece of gum. I don't care if they say no. Like, you gotta think about it that simply, you guys. You're gonna offer it, and they're gonna say yes or they're gonna say no. But if they say no, move on with confidence, knowing that you are one step closer to your yes. So it's my last letter. And that's E, and it stands for educate your team members to do the same. This would not be an effective training if I did not tell you to teach your team members to do this too. Who here in this room wants a big group? Who would love to have a group of like 1,000? That'd be amazing. Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. Okay, so I have some awesome news for you. What if I told you that if you recruited one person a week, in only 20 years, you'd have a team of 1,000? Doesn't that sound so good? No? You don't like the sound of that? Okay.
Oh, like a pyramid?
So what if you recruited one person a week, and they taught their recruit to recruit, and so on and so on? Oh, that's a little better, right? In only 10 months, you have a team of 1,000. That is the difference of teaching your recruits to recruit. Living the lifestyle of sponsoring as a solo act only gets you so far. So share this with them. Walk it out. Teach them the core values. You absolutely can have any team member representing this. So those are my core values of the lifestyle of sponsoring. These core values turned my biggest weakness in my business into a strength. I want you guys to understand how surreal this moment is for me. I did not want to sponsor. I was so afraid. I thought I was just not good enough. I lacked confidence, skills, and consistency. And now here I am standing in front of you today talking about recruiting. So if you are in this audience today and you feel like this is your weakness, believe me when I say you can change it. And the good news is there is a need out there. Families are struggling, the economy is weak. People need this offer. So go out there and find the need and fill the need. The good news is you can start afresh any day. So today is your day. Start fresh. After all, we're just getting warmed up, right?
Yeah, so they're still using all of those recruiting tactics today to train all of the people in Scentsy now. Big nightmare. Big nightmare. Be aware of these tactics. Do not join an MLM. And with that, it's time for our palate cleanser. TikTok hates you bullshit.
Ugh, I hate this town. Crunchy leaves, smells like apples 24/7. Reminds me of why I moved to the big city. I didn't think I'd ever come back here after my mom died.
It hasn't been the same since you left.
Wait, is this Great Jack's jack-o'-lantern farm?
Yep.
What happened? Where are all the happy families taking hayrides and picking pumpkins?
The business is failing. They're going bankrupt.
What? No, we've got to save it. It's the heart of the town. I have exactly 1 week to fix the pumpkin patch before I have to go back to the big city to get married. I'm just saying, I hope a cute guy with a golden retriever doesn't distract me. You know, because I'm trying to save the pumpkins. I'm not trying to fall in love and then make out during the harvest festival on the gazebo while the whole town is watching.
Wait, isn't that how you had your first kiss?
Yep. 13, Chase Lantern. His dad Jack owned Great Jack's jack-o'-lantern farm. Wait, does Chase still own the pumpkin patch? Because honestly, I think I'm still in love with him. I know exactly how to save the pumpkins. I'm gonna call off my wedding, quit my big city job, and then go to the harvest festival to Chase to fundraise money for the pumpkin patch. I think I'm finally feeling that small town charm. I can't believe that 2 days ago I was a spoiled brat from the big city. Everything has changed. I love you.
So true. I used to love Hallmark movies, but now they literally are all the same. Anyway, as always, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.